Hi, guys. I am here and excited to podcast for you this week on my. I know I always say this every single time, one of my favorite topics. But of course, if I don't like the topic or if I don't appreciate the topic, I wouldn't be talking about it. So, yes, you have it. This week, I will specifically speak about the 5 strategies that I use, how I stay productive as a mompreneur. And you already know my story. I have 2 kids and a business to run and so many other things that I'm involved in. But I really want to start this month in talking about how specifically to maneuver everything as a mompreneur. And it's really important to know that, no doubt, right? It's really challenging to handle everything on your own. And I also have a really supported spouse. So with a supportive spouse, it's still challenging to do all the things that we need to do. So imagine that. But these are the 5 strategies that I always use to make sure that I'm top of everything and that I'm productive and that I'm moving things forward with my business and my life. And so the first thing, I already talked about the importance of planning on my previous episodes, and is like the biggest level of self-care is planning. But specifically, I want to talk about planning on a daily basis, right? Planning so that you are producing at the top level every day in your life and business. And super important to have a routine. And here's a reason why. And I know you have heard of like 20 days to this, 20 days to that. But 20 days is really only amount of time that your brain really gets to really notice and be aware that you're actually doing something different and something new. It takes 30 days. So if you can set up a manageable and sustainable routine, I'm talking about morning and evening routine that you can manage for the next 30 days, it will really get you to see a difference, in your productivity level. But you can already see that after the first week. But the key is making sure that you're doing the routines, every single day. And this also helps you with really seeing your day-to-day activities and really being able to adapt and adjust as you need. And of course, learn about these strategies, but of course apply it and adapt to it, just like anything that I've been teaching you, because every situation is different, your life is different, and even with your life there are different seasons of your life as well. So you have to be able to adapt. So in terms of a morning routine, you want a morning routine that is going to energize you. It's going to give you what you need. It's going to set the right pace for your day, set the right tone, right? Start things on the right foot. And what I usually call is a 7 before 7. I most recently developed a habit of getting up at 5, of course, because I find that if I just wait to get up when the kids get up, I have no time for myself. I don't have time for what I need to do with my focus hours and plan out the day. So the first thing is 5 a.m. wake up if possible, or just even if your routine takes about half an hour or whatever it is to start to do that, get up 30 minutes before everyone else does. Okay. And then the first thing I do when I jump out of bed is I drink 12 ounces of water. So I have a habit of putting a bottle now right next to my nightstand, my bedside, and that's the first thing I do. Helps with your digestive system, help with your brain. Like I see a big level of clarity and in the my how my mental acuity with drinking just water. And I've been losing weight in like unintentionally or intentionally with drinking water. And then right after that, I'll sit down and do my meditation, whether it's like quiet time. It doesn't have to be sitting down and really listening to guided meditation. That's an option for you. But also what I'm really tapping into lately is visualization, meaning like I know what it is that I want in the future, and I kind of sit and visualize, but in a way like think about like maybe daydreaming in your meditation, right? Which is like I'm really tapping into that. So it could be that for you. So whatever works for you, meditation, it could be prayers, it could be whatever it is that you do. So that's quiet time. And then right after that will be pulling up your goal statement, and it has to be really clear. It could be short term, it could be long term. I actually recommend this, since you are doing this on a daily basis. I recommend to be reading a goal statement that is short term related, whether next 30 months, not 3 months, 30 days or 60 days would be the goal statement that you're going to recite to yourself right after that. Then I would journal, journal in what worked the day before, what didn't work, and anything that comes up. And then, of course, what are the three things that you're going to be doing that day? And I'll go more specific with the three things later in terms of like, how do you really prioritize and just have three things on your list? I know, listen, pay attention. So the next piece is then you go into exercise. It could be any form of exercise. It could be literally turning on the music and start dancing for like 5 minutes. However, it could be a home workout, going outside, running, whatever it is that you do for exercise, do it. Because what I learned is if you don't do it in the morning before any interruptions, you don't get it done. True story. That's just how it goes, especially being a mom, right? And I know for most of you, it's summertime, so your kids are home. So you know how that goes. And last but not least is if you have time, right? Listen to 15 minutes, 20 minutes of inspiration, meaning like something that you want to learn about. It could be something you're super passionate about, like whatever it may be. So be inspired in that space. So those are the 7 things in terms of like a morning routine for you. Get up in the morning at 5 a.m. if possible, drink your water, do your meditation, read, your goal statement, journal, exercise, and then last but not least, listen to or read something inspirational. So that's what the morning routine looks like for me. So for you, whatever works. It doesn't have to be the things that I do, but know what it is that you need. But of course, like if like all when all in doubt, if you could like super simple, right? Water, meditation, goal statement. And then of course exercise too, but I know exercise is also another thing that you want to really create a habit of doing. Like I said, you can adapt to it, you can shorten the time. Don't be in the mentality of like if it's off or nothing type thing, right? No, if you have 2 hours every morning, great. But if you have an hour, fine. But if you have half an hour, make it work for you, right? Half an hour could look like this: you get up, you drink the water real fast, right? You do 10 minutes of meditation, you do 10 minutes of journaling, and then you do 10 minutes of inspirational work, or like 20 minutes of workout. However that works for you, make it work and really create a routine that is going to really start your day on the right foot. Okay. And same thing with starting the day. You have to start and stop, end the day intentionally. Especially, I know this is a honest, and I'm being really transparent that I'm great with the morning routine. Some evenings it really depends, because of course my schedule in the evening revolve around my kids. So sometimes, the evening routine doesn't always look like what I'm going to share with you, but at the same time, you keep it consistent. And for whatever that you can do, you continue to do those things. So my thing is plan the next day. I always know what I'm going to do the next day. And, it's super important. Like, right? Like at the end of the day, okay, great job with everything that went on that day, handling whatever that came to you, things like that. Celebrate yourself, acknowledge yourself, no matter what happened. No matter happens throughout the day, acknowledge yourself for it. And then I eat dinner with my family. Of course, I do a little mini facials and showers and things like that. Right before bed, we'll say our gratitude as a family together. And then I'll read my goal statement again one more time. And last but not least, I'll go to bed every single night as much as you can. I know, like I said, it's hard for you as a mompreneur. I know it is for myself too, to go to bed at the same time every night, but strive for it. Strive for it as much as possible. The kids are going to really appreciate it. They know what's going to happen. So do that. Create an evening routine again. Recap. Plan for the next day. Acknowledge yourself no matter what happens. And dinner with the family. Shower, a mini facial for yourself, right? Say your gratitude. Read over your goal statement. I know I just and then have go to bed at the same time every night if possible. And the second strategy is, you've heard me before, it's really what's really important to you. Really create a priority list. And I know most of us have it backwards, right? Where you have business and then family and then self-care. I got to tell you, self-care first and family, right? And then client fulfillment, for example, and then marketing. So basically, your family and yourself come first. and your business comes second. And you have to be able to create a business that works around your life. And it's so possible. Like I do that and I help my clients do that. So really make sure that that's happening. Otherwise, definitely message us and let us know how we can support you on that. But make sure that you have your priority list. What's important to you, what matter to you the most, you do those things. And for me, my most important is myself and my family, so that's first, and then business second, right? So really important, create your priorities list. Third, along the lines of creating your priorities list, you need to have non-negotiables, meaning like non-negotiables, meaning like no matter what happens is not going to be negotiable, right? So family is my number one. It's non-negotiables, meaning on rare occasions, yes, I work on the weekends, yes, like I am not there for certain things, but because things happened and being responsible for my my business and my partners and things like that. But you have to make sure you have a non-negotiables list, and that's important for you, that you are not going to violate unless you have really traumatic reasons why you have to. So thirdly, how to really stay productive and motivated is to make sure that you have a non-negotiables list. Fourth is make sure you prioritize your health. You all know about how we feel about your health when it comes to mental health, when it comes to physical health or emotional health. You are your number one, especially when you are a mompreneur. If the minute you neglect yourself, everything falls apart. I know this from my experience. And if it really means just doing the workout and spending time for yourself, 30 minutes per day, that's it. Like that's all you really need to focus on, but really prioritize. Make sure that's on your list, right? Prioritize mental health, making sure it's quiet time. That's why I was telling you, out of the 7 things that you can do in the morning, make sure that you're drinking water, make sure that you do meditation, and then make sure that you are exercising, right? Like those 3 things, super important. And then the rest happens. So really prioritize your health. And last but not least, hear me out. I know this is going to ruffle a few feathers or like upsets a couple of you, and you're like, how do you do that? It's impossible. I'm not saying that is, again, is an all be all type thing, but know that you have to limit multitasking. Only do one thing at a time, because here's the thing: when you are doing too many things all at once, if you're on the phone and you're on a Zoom call, and then you're so divided, your energy is divided, you're not present, you're already scattered, and you're already training your brain to be scattered when you're not really supposed to. So take your time with doing one thing at a time. And it could take times for you to really transition in between, but by all means do that. And close all of your notifications. Honestly, I don't have any notifications going into my laptop while I'm working. It's annoying to me because I'm trying to focus and then I can't because it keeps beeping. And then I don't have any notifications on my phone either. And I can tell you, this is I don't know if you can see that, but this is my phone screen. Literally, I don't know if I don't have any of my apps here. So it's not distracting. So and then my second page is where I have all the other apps. But here's what it looks like. My first page is completely blank, and then I can have all the apps. So usually, even when I have my phone with me, the first page is blank, so I'm not distracted with so many things. I'm not distracted with like the red mark, the ticks that tells you like how many messages you have and things like that. So don't distract yourself. Like eliminate distraction. Do one thing at a time. And I'm telling you, that is going to really up your level of productivity. It's going to up level the quality of your work, and it's going to really shorten the time of what it takes you to do certain things because you're really focused. You really focus. So that's what I have for you guys. So like that is the 5 strategies that I use for, as being a mom, having to juggle so many things. Number one, having a really strong morning and evening routine. Secondly, having a priority list. Third, make sure that you have a non-negotiable list, like things that you do and is not negotiable. Four, prioritize your health. And last but not least, do one thing at a time. Until next week, have a fantastic and productive week.